Yep. Okay. Refresh this one. Nice. Cool. I'm just gonna announce this on Discord, on X, and then we can give it a go.
By the way, I do have to. I got like an hour.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We usually take about 1 hour. Like if it goes longer,
Perfect,
but
perfect.
but it's usually 1 hour, so don't worry about that, mate. All good.
Good. Yeah, just making sure because we have a lot of meetings. Everything is going on. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be busy, hey? I mean, it feels like this is
Yeah.
the time where a lot of people, because it's been kind of quiet for the past, I don't know, like a month or so, but a lot of people have been really busy cooking behind the scenes. So I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
excited for people to get to know what you guys have been cooking, for us to also let our community know where we are. But yeah, let me just announce this on Discord and then we can keep it going.
Perfect. I see that we are live. I see some people in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, GM chat. Well, let me repost it.
Yep, I'm doing the same. All right.
Perfect.
Okay, now we can go back to this so we can say hello to everyone. I see some people tuning in, which is good. Oh, dude, Cole, do you remember those times when it was very crazy getting thousands of live views?
Yeah.
Mate, that was insane.
How well
Good
do
times.
the art and Yap points do? Have you been close to your goal?
I think there was, I mean, we have this inside joke, by the way, Fortnite, just to give you like a quick TLDR. We said a
Yeah.
while ago that if we ever hit 2,000 live views, I
Okay.
will get a tattoo of my plushie. So that's pretty much the goal here. And I think our ATH was like maybe 1,700 or so, 15, 1,600, something like that, which was pretty wild. It was pre mainnet, kind of like going live, abstract, because we were hosting a bunch of our friends, like KOLs, founders, etc. And we were very close, like very close. I was like, oh shit, I think I might have to get a tattoo on my plushie. So that's pretty much the goal. I'm pretty sure we'll get there again once the vibes are back. Regardless of that, I'm pretty sure I'll get my tattoo anyways.
Do you mean like X views?
Yeah. X views.
Okay. I mean that should be very doable.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like
Damn.
once
Almost
there's a
there.
bunch of multiple catalysts, not just for us, but like overall, um, we can see that happen again for sure. Oh, by the way, Cole, did you see Froggy's to the art? The one that he posted like 30 minutes ago?
Oh, the superheroes. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
It looks really cool. I'm
Oh, he's such
Wolverine.
a
Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I want Froggy to draw me something.
Oh, he's so good. He's so talented. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think we can kickstart this one. I see some people tuning in. We'll just let people join whenever they can. So first of all, GM, everyone. It's been a minute since we've done these live streams. I'm very excited to bring them back, particularly with a good mate Fortinet. Simply because, I mean, as you guys know, we recently announced a partnership with him and with his team to bring our IP to his mobile game, which by the way is super fun. If you haven't tried it, like I highly recommend it to give it a go. Um, Sometimes I think that I'm actually quite good at it. Someone else comes and I beats my highest score, and I'm like, oh, dude, like, how are these guys doing it? So maybe you, Fortinet, can give us a few tips on how to get to the top of the leaderboard. Because, mate, I've been
I
struggling
sure can.
since you guys released it to get at least 2,000 apples, and I think my ATH is like 1,600, 1,700. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks heaps for joining us. I'll give it. Oh, wait, by the way, let me share call screen. If you guys are not familiar with how we do these live streams, Cole will be cooking something pretty cool with both of our IPs, pretty much to solidify a friendship and partnership and just to vibe, because I think it's really, really cool to see Cole cooking live. Well, pretty much Fortinet and I will be yapping about pretty much everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Fortinet, mate, how are you? GM, it's good to see you again.
Hello,
So good.
hello. Thank you guys for having me.
Of
It's
course.
actually it's always fun watching people work in 3D because I tried it multiple times. As you guys
Hmm.
know, I do pretty much only 2D stuff, 2D animations art, and I've
Yep.
been trying to learn Blender. Actually, I started learning Cinema 4D because at the
Okay.
time I was working as a motion designer and editor, and I was doing that kind of thing. Um, I mean, I did create some cool stuff with Cinema 4D because it's good for motion design and everything. And then I started to learn Maya because at the time I was working in a game dev studio. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, 2D games, I know how to do them now. All right, now let's try to do something 3D games related. So I
Yep.
started to learn Maya, UV maps, everything, like optimizing my polygon counts or whatever. And then I just got bored. I'm like, okay, actually, Blender, boom, it has everything.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, dude, you know what? I'd love to hear that though, because kind of like once you knew, okay, I'm getting quite good at developing these 2D games and my 2D art and stuff. You didn't stop there, right? You were like, okay, what can I do to kind of like elevate my game? So you taking that initiative to play a little bit with here and there, I think that speaks volumes of your character. So yeah, dude, GG's.
I mean, I always try to learn something new, just because
Hmm.
out of curiosity, pretty much.
Yep.
It's just fun. I don't know. It's just fun creating something in a medium that you are not like very good at, and then when you succeed eventually, because like I mean, if you just keep doing the thing, eventually you will create something that you're proud of. It just
Yeah.
feels good. It just feels good. You start from scratch and then you achieve something. It's just
Yeah,
nice.
love to hear that, dude. So, first of all, I want kind of like the people to get to know you a little bit better in case they're not familiar with who you are and what you guys been building, how long you've been in the space, what kind of like draw your attention to, kind of join this industry and decide to build. Because it feels like we kind of need to be a little bit crazy, hey, to kind of like pursue a career here and seeing the opportunities. But yeah, I mean, if you wanna start with that, that would be sick, mate.
I wouldn't say that we're crazy because I mean, there's obviously a huge opportunity and a huge
Mhm.
market to
Yeah,
conquer, right? And then it's I feel like it's kind of easier. I mean, if you know what you're doing and if you have a
mm,
solid plan to build a business, like if you don't have any money in Web3 than Web2, right? Because like I cannot imagine like running a game studio if, with
mm,
$0 and then creating like a mobile game and then you instantly have players in that game. There's no way, right?
yeah.
But in Web3, it is possible. So as I said already, I worked in a small game dev company. I was helping them with
Hmm.
animations. We were creating mobile games primarily, and because there was it wasn't a huge company. It was like an indie company. I got to talk with all the team members pretty much, like the director, all of the game designers, developers, analysts, That's the word, right? uh,
Analysts, yeah.
everyone. I got to learn from each individual coworker.
Yeah.
And then eventually one of them just it was like a party or whatever. I think it was Halloween party actually. And then one of my coworkers, he comes to me, he's like, have you heard of NFTs? You can sell pictures online for money. I'm like, okay, that's literally like a definition of scam. What the hell are you talking about? The hell I took
So when was this, by the way? Like 21, 2020?
it was like actually maybe like almost 5 years ago. Because 4 years
Okay.
ago I already started working in rubber hose and minting my stuff.
Yeah, right.
Um, but I joined around the same time when Beeple, like just before Beeple sold his thingy.
Gotcha. Yep.
I think that's when I joined. Um, but I'm like, okay, I mean, what else do I do? I just work and then I come back home and I just play video games all day. So what the hell? Like, why not? Right? I love learning.
Mm,
So I just kind of Googled. And I was a huge CSGO slash Dota 2 skins guy. Like I was trading
okay.
them. I love
Hmm.
skins in games. So I don't know, especially if it's like a legendary or whatever. It just feels good
Yep.
to flex on other people with those skins.
True.
So when I like started learning about NFTs, first thought in my mind it was like, okay, skins. You actually
Mm,
own your skin. You can do whatever you want with that skin. And if you sell it, your money won't have to be locked in Steam on Steam. I mean, you
mm,
could use some kind of third-party tools to
yep.
extract the money, but it's just pain in the ass.
Yeah.
NFTs, they just fix it. Boom.
Yeah.
And then you can get royalties, blah blah. And I'm like, okay, this is actually something that could be huge. And
Yep.
then I just kind of got sucked in. I joined a few communities, traded a couple
Mm,
NFTs. One, I think my first big win
mm,
was Sandbox. They had like a little quest on their Twitter account. Like I think it was find all of the barrels in this picture or something, right?
mm.
There was like a picture illustration and some barrels hidden on that picture. Obviously, I didn't count. I just went to the replies and copy pasted other people's reply. And I won. I won Sandbox Season 1 pass or whatever. And at the time, it was
Nice.
$6,000. And I sold that
Sheesh.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
of
I was
course,
like,
dude.
wow, okay, all right, okay, I'm staying. Like, okay, decided.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how I began. But then eventually, I'm like, okay, just I don't know, just going around and trying to flip a few NFTs, and just like
Mm,
it just doesn't feel right. I know that I could create my own community, my own
yeah.
story, and I always wanted to create my own games. That was like the first thought why I joined NFTs and why I continued and why I created Frankie's Dinner. Me and my co-founder, Coffee.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah,
yeah. No, I think that that makes absolute sense though, because I feel like a lot of us, like I kind of resonate with that story as well. Like when you get those first big wins with, with NFTs, flipping, like in the frenzy of 21, 2022, it feels good, obviously, because I mean, it's that dopamine hit. But then you kind of realize I would like to do something on my own. Like I feel like I can bring something to the table that people can resonate with my passion. And I think you did it pretty well, though. So because you've been in the space for quite some time, obviously people are familiar with you right now and the stuff that you've been building, not just you but your entire team too. So that's a very cool testament of like still being here though, right? And building and shit. Because obviously I'm pretty sure you met a lot of people back in, late 20 and early 21 or all
yeah,
that cycle all the way to 2022 that they're
yeah,
not here with us anymore,
yeah,
right? Like they just
exactly.
kind of like gave up. Maybe they had really, really shitty experiences,
Yeah,
probably lost a heap amount of money. But then there are others with sort of like that kind of like entrepreneurship kind of mindset that they like, I
yeah,
see an opportunity here, I'm gonna stick to this industry, and then I'm gonna see how it's gonna play out. So yeah, dude, kudos to you, for sure, dude.
I think it's just maybe we are a little bit crazy actually now that I think about it,
Yeah.
because those people left, I think, because they didn't really wanted to they didn't really want to build a business, right?
Mm,
They obviously, I mean, there were some of them were absolutely cracked at creating art, right? But
yeah.
then that's all they wanted, like create art, and that's it, and people to love them. And that is a thing that you kind of, I think you need to just either have big audience beforehand before you join Web3, or I
Mm,
don't know, you need to be like world famous, whatever. For example, Tony Babel, he had a lot of followers on Instagram already. So when he
mm,
joined Web3 space, those people joined him too. Obviously, not all of them, because people absolutely hated NFTs back then, and they still do,
mm,
which it is what it
yep.
is. But still, some people went right and joined him on that journey, and they started collecting his art already. Like he already had an audience. But if you just
Yep.
beginning your journey and you don't have your own community, and then you expect people just to love you instantly, and then you expect to make a living out of it, then it's going to be very, very complicated. So you got to build a business. So I think
Mm,
that was like, and it still is, I believe. Like some people, I see some founders, they just join and they're like, okay, let's just do art. Boom, that's it. No plan
yeah.
at all. So I mean, it is what it is. And I
I
think
think I
we
think
are
I think you're
crazy.
really spot on that. To be honest, sorry to interrupt you there, but like, I think you're
No,
very spot on, right? Because yeah, like there's this sort of like lack of post main strategy and kind of like business, like creating a proper business model or being able to pivot with all of that. Because after all, I mean, we are building a business here, so we need to be able to ensure a long sustainable growth within the company, finding ways to bring that revenue other than just minting NFTs with the products that you're bringing. And you know, it's kind of like that. Like you're building it's I think it's the longer route in this industry where you need to hustle first, grind, let people know who you are, so you can grow that audience, right? Because obviously, when you're in this industry, that's kind of like your first audience, right? Like the people, the participants in Web3 in NFTs, and then you can start scaling from there. Like we've seen multiple, good NFT projects that are pivoting to bringing products in Web2 that are being quite successful, bringing that sort of revenue and expanding their business, right? Like their IP or whatever they're doing. So yeah.
Yeah, and that is why we are crazy, because we decided
Yeah.
to stay in this crazy market because it is kind of crazy,
Yeah.
and I think we just have some kind of like competition gene or whatever, because like
Mm,
it is competition. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just trying to be better and better and better, and not even maybe better than someone, but at least better than, like, that you yourself can do better than you did before, right? You just
yeah.
want more. I think it's just ego. Boom. I said it. All founders are they're just ego Andes, just huge egos.
You kind of have to have it though, because one,
True. True.
like you mentioned, right? Like you are competing with yourself because you want to improve
Yeah.
yourself. You want to prove yourself that you're capable of doing this shit, so people can actually believe you, right? Like can
Yeah.
build that trust. It's important. Like if you don't believe in yourself, like why the others should believe in you, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
like a challenge.
it is a
You
challenge,
give
right?
yourself a
Because
challenge and you're like, okay, I can do that shit. Boom,
yeah,
watch
yeah,
me. And you just
yeah, exactly that.
grind. You
Boom,
just
mic drop, mate.
you trade your 9 to 5 for 24/7.
Yeah, which is
And
crazy,
then
right? I
yeah,
know.
you don't get any sleep, but you're like, okay, I feel it. I'm doing the thing. Good.
Yeah, it's so crazy though, because obviously we tell that, oh yeah, here in this industry we have a bunch of freedom, but yeah, it's really funny that you're trading your 9 to 5 to actually be here 24/7. which is insane. That's why I started this, like, yeah, we need to be a little bit crazy, and somehow I convinced you that we're actually kind of crazy to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, tell me about Frankie's dinner. When did you guys come up with that idea? Was it just you? Were you looking for potential partners back then, as in, team members? Where you were kind of like identifying, okay, I'm
Mhm.
missing these skill sets. I need to find the right people to help me push the stuff that I want to bring to the table. How did that start, by the way?
So I was, first of all, I was never someone who creates worlds and stories from scratch, right?
Mm,
Even art. I have never, like, before Web3, I wasn't drawing at all. Zero drawing
okay.
skills, literally
Mm,
zero. Because all I did on my day job is, so we had a bunch of artists and they create art, they just send it to me, I cut
mm,
it, and I animate all of the art. Boom. I
right.
just move pixels around. That's my job.
Mm,
But then when I came to Web3, I'm like, okay, I want to have my own community. At first,
yeah.
I wasn't even thinking to have something huge, just something like to have fun with the boys, Like, boom, I just
Mm,
assemble my own group and we just do things together. That's why I
yeah.
started on Tezos, because it was very easy, like easy entry, right? Very cheap to mint.
Mm,
People also, it's cheap to collect for them.
yeah.
All was done just to assemble my own community. Like literally, I was selling my NFTs for $8 each, and it wasn't like crazy
Oh wow.
amount, right?
Yep.
I never created like a thousand pieces collection. It was 50 pieces collection at the time.
Mm,
And then how did I come up like to create in rubber hose style? I was just scrolling my feed
mm,
and I was experimenting. I was doing a lot of I was a motion designer too, so I was trying to go like a kind of like a glitchy type of thing, like a not a mock-up, but what's the word when you like take something from this picture and then from this picture and then you combine everything together in one?
like a collage or some stuff like that. I don't know if
Kind
that
of,
makes
yeah,
sense.
something like that, but animated, right? I was doing
Mm,
that. I was just experimenting, like, okay, what kind of art I can do that's something like very unique and people will like it and they'll join my community. And then I was just scrolling my feed and I stumbled upon Tony Babel. And I
mm,
just remember that I was actually following Tony on Instagram prior, even before he started to work in rubber hose style. So I'm like, oh, wait, it's this guy. And I
mm,
just fell in love with his loops. I'm like, wow, so smooth. I could just stare at it forever. And I went to YouTube. Very lucky that we have a lot of 1930s cartoons available for free on YouTube. And I just started to
mm,
binge watch all of them. I just soaked the rubber hose energy and I fell in love. And
yeah.
ever since, I love rubber hose. So I started on Tezos and then
Oh, you
my
started on Tazos. Ah, far
yeah,
out.
started on
Okay.
Tezos, and there was a guy. He messaged me like, "Oh, your art is so special. Let's create
Mm,
something bigger together." I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, well, scammer."
Here we
Like,
go.
he's just trying to
Here we
scam
go.
me.
Okay.
He's just trying to scam me. He was actually one of my Tezos collectors. He collected a bunch of my animations. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay, all right, I'm gonna give you a chance because you're a collector. And we played a few like Call of Duty games, Apex Legends games, and we
yeah.
talked and talked and talked, and we just kind of threw ideas at each other. And then I'm like, all right, let's do the thing. And we
Mm.
started building Frankie's Dinner together. It was my
Oh shit.
co-founder coffee break.
Mm.
We're now in law school, so he's going to be defending our rights. Um,
Let's
so
go.
don't steal our IP ever, because hey, you're gonna get some. Okay.
Yeah. I hope that someone's gonna clip that though.
Yeah. So we have a weapon now. And that's how it all started. And why Frankie is a frog? Very simple. Because I back in the day, and I'm kind of still am
Mm,
a huge Twitch Frog. That's how they call them. I
Okay.
just love watching streams, like having them
Mm.
on the background while I
Yeah.
work, just to have something in my ear. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do enjoy music, but often I just like someone talking about anything.
Yeah.
Um, and one of the biggest Twitch emotes is Pepe. All right, Pepe the
Yeah.
Frog. So I
Yeah.
always loved Pepe. Boom, I love Pepe.
Mm.
And frogs were always kind of like fantastic creatures to me. I feel like
Mm.
frog is my spirit animal, and I do have a frog tattoo, and
Oh,
that's
it's all right.
how
Okay.
much I love frogs. So I mean, it was an obvious choice, boom, and then we kind of started from there.
It's so interesting to hear that though, because what I take into that when I see the art, right, and
Yeah,
the animations and the stuff that you've been doing, I do see a lot of inspo from Babel for sure. Like I can see that, and also like when you're talking about like how passionate you were, like okay, I really like this frog character, I want to bring it to life, but I want to give it my take. So it's like adding a few things here and there for you to be able to finally come up with the character. I think that's pretty cool. It's such a good origin story, I would say. But yeah, I definitely see the inspo from Tony Babel, definitely the inspo from you, kind of like okay, starting from like I'm a Twitch frog, like how you mentioned it. I love
yeah,
Pepe the Frog. I love the frogs. I even have a tattoo of a frog. So it all makes sense, mate.
yeah. And Coffee, he is very good with storytelling,
Hmm.
and we created a whole origin story, which is actually in the process of animation. But I mean, obviously, we do have a lot, so it's kind of paused right now. But it
Yeah,
will come out 2025. The
nice.
pilot episode of um, Frankie the Frog, and you will
Mm.
finally people will understand why is it Frankie's dinner and not Frankie's diner.
It's funny though because I've always been saying Frankie's dinner, right? But some of my team
Yeah,
members were like, "Oh yeah, Frankie's diner," and I'm like, "I'm pretty sure
exactly.
it's
That's
dinner. I'm
wrong.
pretty sure it's dinner."
It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
dinner because
yeah.
Frankie is dinner.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna be eating frog legs or what?
Whoa, stop. Okay. We actually ban for frog legs in our Discord, so chill out, okay? We have
That's why I
a
wanted to bring it.
antagonist. We have antagonist character which is the pig. And when you die in
Okay.
Frankie's Adventures, actually, if you play Frankie's Adventures and participate in our tournament, which we host together with Plooshies, and you can actually
Yeah.
win a Plooshie NFT and get a Penelope skin. So yeah, download Frankie's Adventures on iOS and Android.
Yes.
When you die, you see and hear the pig laugh.
Yes. Okay. Now it makes sense. Yep.
Yes. And also in Frankie Go, when you die, you also hear the pig laugh. And in season
Mm.
2, you will be able to somehow interact with the pig together with your
Oh.
squad. So it's going to be kind of
Okay.
huge. So the
Interesting.
pig is antagonist, right? The bad guy. So he's a restaurateur and he wants to add a new dish on his menu, frog legs,
Frogs.
obviously.
Yes.
So he tries to catch Frankie. That's why Frankie's dinner. And it's like the whole like plot pretty much is like a Tom and Jerry style, cat and mouse, right? Frankie
Mm.
thinks that the pig is his friend, and everyone around is are friends. He's a naive frog, and the
Yep.
pig tries to like cook Frankie in various ways, but he always fails. Frankie always escapes somehow, just like in a magical way. And you'll see that in the pilot episode. But it's very simple, and I think with
Mm.
our brand, I think we always try to keep everything simple because we are a family friendly brand and Frankie's Adventures is absolutely family friendly. You can play it with your kids. Even our
Yep.
ads are family friendly. We made sure that we don't show any weird ads.
Mm.
Like it's completely safe, right? And we want to make it simple because kids are interacting and will interact with our brand. And also Web3 people, they're also kind of like kids. They like simple stuff, so we just don't want to overcomplicate it. That's also our approach with Frankie Go. Boom, boom, boom. Just a few buttons. Very simple.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it is a recipe for success, like pun intended with Frankie's dinner, hey? Because yeah, dude. I mean, when you say like obviously family friendly, and it's such an approachable sort of way with the stuff that you guys have been building with the mobile games, kind of like tackling different audiences, right? Because I feel like like for instance with the endless runner, um, when I was based, I try to be based between like Abu Dhabi and Mexico City, and then if I have the opportunity to travel to all the conferences like NFT crypto conference, then I will do that. But when I was in Abu Dhabi and I was playing the game, like your game, I had my niece who she's 7, right? And
Hmm.
she always looked at me playing that game, and she's like, "Why do you love this game so much?" Because she always saw me playing that game, right? Like, and I'm like, "It's a lot of fun. Like, it is a lot of fun." And then she's like, "It looks very easy. Let me give it a go. I want to play
Oh,
this
oh,
game."
oh, oh,
Because I made it look easy, right? And then she started playing the game, and she's like, okay, this is not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. But then she started getting better and better, and I'm like, okay, this is good though. Like that's the
right?
intention, right? And then she looked at me and she's like, okay, I think I get it why you love this game. And I'm
Boom.
like, yeah.
Perfect.
And I'm
I
like, cool,
love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love it.
just wanted to share that story with you. And then
Thank you.
obviously with the other game that you brought to abstract, right? Like with Frankie's Go. I mean, when we were having a convo, and you're like, "Hey, have you played Capybara Go? Like, it is
Yeah.
something similar to that." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I've been playing that game for quite a while. Like, even after that combo, I needed to play the game again." And I'm like, okay, this has heaps of potential because it's
Yeah.
so bloody addictive. Like,
Yeah.
it is insanely addictive.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like I shit you know, like when we had that convo, and I'm like, yeah, I remember playing that game, but then I left it, and then I just played that again, bro. It hooked me in immediately, and I'm like, okay, I get where these guys are going though, because
Yeah.
they have this endless runner, which is such an easy and understandable genre that people actually love. Like, there's so many success stories with endless runner games, and obviously with this one, tackling what Capybara Go did. With Frankie's Go, utilizing abstract, the chain, the ecosystem. I'm like, these guys are definitely onto something. Like they need to somehow have more spotlight, because obviously you guys been cooking for quite a while. So then I started giving a go with Capybara Go, and I'm like, oh shit, it's either gonna end up pretty good for me or pretty bad though, because if I could hook with Capybara Go, now add a little bit of blockchain and crypto component to this, like mate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
first of all, a little bit about Frankie's Adventures. Our original goal with that game, and by the way, it started. We released like the first version of Frankie's Adventures even before our mint. It
Mm.
served as like oh, play the game, get whitelist for
Yep.
Frankie's dinner, and at the time nobody was really creating games even before mint.
Mm.
Like the hell, it was unique.
Yeah.
And back then the game was like 20 times more difficult. Somebody broke their
Oh
MacBook
wow.
screen because of Frankie's Adventures.
No way, dude.
So now, if you complain that the game is difficult now, trust me. Hey, listen, just get good. It is what it is. And the goal with Frankie's Adventures always was to bring nostalgia to people. Because
Mm.
endless platformer, endless runner is not a new concept. It's been there for a lot of years. Let's just say that. Our
Yeah.
style, rubber hose style, 1930s cartoons, also
Yeah.
it's not new. So we combine vintage mechanic with vintage style. So parents, when they play the game and they hope to win some kind of NFT or something, their kids also can enjoy the game. And parents could say, like,
Mhm.
oh, look, this is the type of games I was playing when I was a kid, or something like that. Right?
With
Like
that
it just
particular
brings
tone of
nostalgia.
voice as
It's
well.
vintage. Yeah, exactly. And with Frankie Go, when we were researching all the games, and Jonah Blake was helping us on this.
Mm.
And when I first downloaded Capybara Go, I kid you not, I was just in the game. I'm like, okay, this is it. I just cannot close it. There's no way. This is it. This is what we need. Boom,
Mm.
and we just created. Season one is kind of like just like a first version to give you a taste, but
Yeah.
season two is gonna bring so much more. It's gonna be equipment. It's gonna be upgrades, a
Yeah.
mini game. As I said, the pig, which is kind of related to multiplayer because I said you can play it with your squad or whatever. A lot of stuff, a lot of new rewards. So like, if you just think that, oh, I don't need those crumbs, trust me,
Yeah, you
crumb
do.
harder, crumb
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like the call to action there. Like if people are not kind of bullish enough so far with the stuff that you guys are doing, honestly, just download Capybara Go, just to give you guys an idea of the potential of this, yeah. And obviously, being supported by Abstract and the consumer crypto narrative, etc., etc. It's just, I'm very happy for you guys because we've been seeing you for quite some time cooking. Like even for instance, like Cole created this, the 3D asset for you guys. Like there's always been this sort of
It is
link.
true.
There's always been this sort of link between the two of us. So I'm just very grateful for you guys to integrate our IP to your game, and I'm very keen as well for once we release the upcoming version of Plooshy Island for people to interact with Frankie as well on Plooshy Island. Um,
Boom.
um, a little bit of alpha there, but yes, you're definitely gonna see.
Huge alpha.
You're definitely gonna see Frankie there, and I think what you guys did, obviously, because mobile games is such an easy and approachable way for people to interact with your IP, because it doesn't really require that much time for people to just play a couple of games here and there. Maybe they
Yeah.
can get hooked, and that's perfect, obviously, because then one of the things that works pretty well with that is sort of like word of mouth. When you like, so what are you playing? Like, what are you the mobile games that you're playing? Oh, not this one, not that one. Oh, okay, cool. I'll give it a go, and then boom, 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 one after the other. And when you mentioned like we kind of did the mini games before the mint and stuff, it really resonates with how we did things as well because we launched a bunch of mini games for that sort of like premium phase for the Plooshies collection, the OG collection, right? So being able to
Yeah.
bring those back again with the storytelling and the lore that's behind that, and being able to make them even more competitive so people can get hooked really hard once they start playing them in the arcade on Plooshy Island. um, just pretty cool there, like exciting times for sure. So what are the other questions that I have for you? um, Obviously because you've been in the space for quite a while, what kind of made you decide to start releasing these on Abstract? And obviously the other thing, when you mentioned like, yeah, Jonah Blake, sort of like advising and helping us out, like that's huge though. Like for people who are not familiar with Jonah Blake, like he's one of the biggest voices in Web3 crypto gaming. So having him obviously on your side, it gives that sort of like seal of approval, right? Like, okay, you're definitely on the right track. So how did you kind of handle like, hey, let's have a combo with Jonah or whatever?
So, um, we just kind of, I feel like we just finally embraced our audience. We were
Mm.
trying to fight it for quite some time. We're trying to tell people, Web3 is never gonna be alive if you just don't play just just games for fun. And once I realized how stupid I was for saying that, I just kind of like just in one moment, just like that, I just started seeing things clearly. I'm like, okay, currently we are building primarily for Web3 audience, so we need to give those people exactly what they want.
Hmm.
Boom. So we started coming up with a lot of concepts, and also like our final goal. So just so understand, and always has been to create games, primarily Web2 games too. So
Yeah.
eventually, Frankie's Adventures is gonna get a lot of love. So keep collecting apples. It's gonna get a lot of love, and we're gonna bring more titles and also some Web2 exclusive. Because I think what's good in terms of Web2 games is that if you just have a good live ops, you can just
Mm.
support the game, right? Releasing content, people gonna play it, and no matter the markets, right? You don't care what ETH price is right now. people will
Yeah,
be still playing your game, watching ads, right? Everything, and you will be getting revenue. Good.
of course.
Um, but right now we don't really have a huge Web3 audience. We've been trying with like Giphy, Instagram. It's all trial and error, as probably you know already, right? Nobody knows how the algo works 100%. You just gotta try this and that and see what does good, like
Hmm.
specifically for your brand, because for everyone the situation is different. If something works for one brand, it won't work for another brand.
Yeah.
There's no an instruction how to win. So we just embraced that we are building for Web3 people, and let's just build something for you. We created a bunch of concepts. We're like, okay, we need someone to look at this with fresh eyes and tell us like a brutally honest opinion. Because I feel
Mm.
like in Web3, it's either like kind of like toxic positivity, like, oh my God, I
100%.
love it. But in reality, it's shit. Or it's like, it's shit. Rug. It's like there's no in between. And
Mm.
why I love Jonah and why we approached him just to ask for his opinion, right?
Mm.
Because he's just brutally honest. Like he won't
Yes.
rug, or he won't just tell you that everything is good if it's not. He's just honest. He's like, okay, this is shit if it's shit. If it's good,
Mm.
he's gonna tell that it's good. So we talked with him, and then we're like, okay, this guy, he knows. All right, boom. So now we're working with him and discussing everything and planning ahead. His our advisor,
Yeah.
very happy that he joined us on Frankie Go. And yeah, who knows? Maybe something else even.
Maybe something else. Let's leave it at that. But yeah, I think that's beyond bullish, and I think getting people like that, right? Like, because I think you're right. Like, there's heaps of toxic positivity, right? Obviously, because we all want to win, we all want to see the industry win, blah blah blah. But getting that sort of like honest, brutal feedback is something that we all have to go through, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance, we've been through that. Like even if we've been in the space pretty much since early 2023, at least with the plushies out there, right? Like most of us have been way before that, like in multiple communities, building this or that or whatever. But for us, like this year, it was really important to get that honest, brutal feedback from the community and even from ourselves, right? Like we knew where we were when we released the first beta version of Plushy Island, and we actually needed to get that honest, brutal feedback from the community to actually see, okay, this is what we did wrong, this is what we need to do, this is how we're gonna fix it. Uh, so getting that is like, okay, it's kind of like opening your eyes to realize like, hey, let's just forget about this toxic positivity shit, like let's actually deliver something that people want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we needed to go through that. We're still going through that, not gonna lie, which is good though. Like it
No, I
actually
think,
it actually pushes us
yeah,
way more to prove people
right?
wrong, right? Because when we were talking about that ego side of things, like we all have a fucking ego and we have all something to prove.
Exactly.
And so when we go through all of that, it's like, mate, just add more fuel to the fire because we're gonna fucking prove you wrong, right? Um,
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's also important to have an ability to, like, if someone shares their opinion, like obviously there are a bunch of people who they just want to fud everything literally. Like they don't really know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know how this or that works, but they feel like they are professionals in every single aspect of the world. You don't want to listen to those people, and you need to
mm,
have a some kind of filter in your mind and differentiate, right, those opinions. Like you need
yeah,
to, okay, if you think that this opinion is actually valuable and it's fair, then you need to just suck it up and say, okay, all right, I can improve it. That is
yeah,
why we host I don't know if you guys do that, but you said you have like community calls or whatever. Every
yeah, yeah.
Tuesday we have community roundtable where we just sit down and listen, and any community member, he can just say, yo, this is shit.
Mm,
And then we can just say, you know what, Yes, let's fix it. How can we fix it? Let's come up with a solution together.
Yep. Yep.
Or they just give us new ideas, or we just brainstorm, and I love it because it kind of refreshes you. You know,
Mm.
Cole would probably relate to that too. Like when you create an art piece and you just work on it like for 6 hours already, nonstop, you just kind of you don't see things clearly. But then you take a small break, you come back, and you're like, oh wait, this, and that. Boom, this is how I fix it. So you need that fresh opinion, fresh eyes. And I think your community, if you train them well, if you train them to give an actual honest opinion and a toxic positivity opinion, is going to
Mm.
help you a lot. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I think we all feed from all of that, right? Because then you can, because I feel like we also kind of like we're a little bit blind with the stuff that we do because we think this is the right way to move forward with some
Yeah.
stuff, right? And then if you the only thing that you can hear is that toxic positivity, then you're not gonna
It just doesn't
progress,
help.
right?
It just doesn't
Yeah,
help.
you're gonna
It's
become
worse.
stagnant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to
correct.
make it worse.
Yep,
I
yep,
would rather
100%.
hear someone say like, okay, uh, whatever you're doing, it's bad because this, and that. I'm like,
Mm.
oh shit. Okay, actually, you are right. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, you are right. Then like everything's cool. Yeah, good. Like I don't want that. So
Yeah, particularly when we put emotions there, right? Like let's just forget about that. It's just it's fucking feedback. Take it as it is, and don't take it personal. But yeah, dude, let's. I want to move forward with what we did together with
yes,
integrating the Plooshies IP to that really cool endless runner game that I keep playing. People keep beating me, and that fucking annoys me. You got no clue because I'm quite competitive. So it's like, oh fuck, I need to get better at this.
yep.
But yeah, I mean, do you want to explain like how people can do that? How people can get the skin? What's the goal? What are the prizes? Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very, very simple. You just go to your app store or Play Market. So iOS, Android, doesn't matter. Just go to your store and search Frankie's Adventures, right? Or you can just join our
Mm,
Discord, click the official links and find it there. Um, you just download the game. You log in using your Google account or Apple ID just to save your
mhm,
progress. We don't look at your data. We don't need it. You can check the stores for information. And then you connect your AGW in the game, and you link your EVM wallet, the one that
mhm.
you have either a Frankie or the
Big
OG
push.
Plushie NFT sitting in. You link it to your AGW, and then you connect that AGW to Frankie's Adventures. It's very, very simple. You just go to the
Yep.
settings, connect AGW, boom, boom. Very simple. Just follow the steps, okay? And then you join the tournaments in the tournaments tab, and you play the game, obviously. You collect apples, and then you use apples to bake pies. And pies are pretty much raffle tickets. So it doesn't matter how many apples you've collected in one run, only pies matter for now. But we'll change in the future. But for now, just
Gotcha.
bake as
Okay.
many pies as you can. The max is 30 pies. So that's the limit.
Hmm.
Because obviously we do have some cracked players, and they would have just won every single tournament. That's not gonna be fair. So we just limited it 30, so to keep it fair, everyone has a
Yep.
fair chance. And if you bake pies, every phase, and phases are there are three phases,
Hmm.
which first two are gonna last for 2 days each, and the last one is gonna last for 3 days. I
Yeah.
think we're currently on the second one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So second phase, you will be able to win a plushy apartment, if I'm not mistaken. Is that
I
correct,
think
Logan?
no. I think the first phase was the apartment.
First,
Second
okay,
phase is a plushy house,
house,
and the third one is a plushy NFT.
plushy NFT.
So pretty much you set up for life, quote unquote. I'm obviously taking the piss, but
Boom.
like your plushie will get the house, the apartment if you're one of those lucky guys that get selected during that raffle. But yeah, I mean, even if you say like it's fair, which is cool because every single person who gets to bake 30 pies max
Yeah,
will get the same sort of opportunity. But it's a
yeah,
nice flex to show how many apples you've collected
yeah.
so far at the
For
top
now,
of the
it is
leaderboard,
just for
right?
flex.
Yeah, for now it's just for flex.
You want to
Yeah.
know what's the world record?
No.
You don't want to know? Okay. Well,
No. Tell
okay.
me. No, I mean, I did. No, because
Okay.
I would get so fucking annoyed and sad that I'm
Okay.
really shit at the game. No,
Old
just kidding.
burnt turn
Yep.
slick. That's the username. Remember this username. Old burnt turn slick. You'll see him in
Is
the
it
top
like?
positions on the leaderboard in every
Is it
single
like?
Web3 game.
Are we talking about like 5 figures in terms of apples? More than 10K for sure.
Listen, the the Apple world record is 100,069. He flexed
Dude,
on us and died on purpose to end it on
there's
69.
there's no way. Like he was playing for hours then. Like far out. Oh my god. That's insane.
Yeah.
169,000 apples. Dude, it takes a lot of time. Like even when I'm playing and I die at like 1500 or so. Now imagine 169. That's insane.
To be fair, it was before we implemented the pause timer. But
Oh, I
still,
see.
so right now you can pause the game and you only
Yeah.
have 2 minutes before it like resumes. But before you
Yeah.
could pause the game, just lock the screen, put the phone in your pocket, just do whatever IRL things you need,
Oh,
then
I
come
see.
back,
Okay.
press continue, and you continue just one run, right? So you can like kind of abuse your lives, but at the same time, it's still
Yeah.
like imagine you're on like let's just say like 20k apples. The
Yeah.
speed of the game is really, really fast.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need to come back, press
And no.
resume, and instantly get locked in, right?
Yeah.
So you don't die just right away. And that guy
That's
just did it.
wild.
I think the run took like 8 hours combined.
Fuck, man.
So that's crazy.
That's crazy, dude. That's an insane big number. I'm pretty sure the gap between him as being as a breaking the records and stuff and the second place must be huge, right?
It is.
Like, do
It's
you have
like
that?
10x.
Lol.
Actually, it's like maybe more like 6x. Yeah. I think
Okay,
someone got like
but still.
25k or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Slick is
Nah, that's
he's
insane.
like a pro gamer. He loves retro games, vintage games. I don't know if you guys are
Mm.
familiar, but you should definitely check out
Yeah.
Foxeria on base.
Mm.
A
No.
very really well made game. It's a pixel platformer. It is very skill based, and Slick is like at the top positions in there too. And
Damn.
yeah, I mean there are a lot of good games in Web3. It's
Yeah.
just the thing is they just physically cannot offer like huge rewards and incentives, and that's why people don't play them. But like the games are really really well made.
Do you actually think that's one of the biggest issues that we encounter as an industry? People building
Yes,
Web3 games and stuff. That if people don't see that sort of incentive, they would just not play it. That's why we just need to
100
focus
million
sometimes on that
percent.
Web2 audience that they just play the game for the love of the game.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
In Web3, if you're building something for Web3 audience, you gotta have some kind of incentive. It is very financially driven space.
Yep.
Like, if there's no money to be made or whatever, it's just not gonna play it. I mean, you can just literally create a screenshot and then promise 1000x just to click a button, and they might as well just click a button, and you're gonna get a lot of
Yeah.
visitors on your website or whatever. Like, they don't really care
Right.
about quality; they care about the juice. And it is what it, I mean, it makes sense. There's nothing really wrong with that. It's just how humans operate. It's just human
Yeah.
nature. But it's kind of slowing us down, obviously.
Mm.
Um, I think if more people started to realize that, oh, like the technology itself is kind of sick. Like we can really build something of a really high quality and then like properly utilize the technology. So it's not just about the money itself.
Mm.
Eventually it will happen, but at the moment it's not like that. If you want like users, players playing your game just for fun, you gotta go Web2 route. And
Yeah.
marketing a Web2 is a little bit more complicated, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's even more brutal as well, I think. I mean, because
There's
you
more
can have
competition
even
too.
yeah, there's way more competition. That's why it's more brutal. Like here, like obviously, like you were mentioning, it's sort of like that kind of cheap that we've have in mind for so long that I just want to click a few buttons and make a 10x,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you kind of create, quote unquote, a game with those things, right, where the only goal is to click a button and pray to whomever you want to pray to get that 10x, then obviously you're gonna get a lot of volume and traction, which puts an even bigger pressure and challenge to people who are focusing more on the I want to create something beyond that, right? Because obviously we've seen people pivoting to do that just to gain that sort of attention and volume, and obviously the revenue because everyone is running a business here. But yeah, those games that are simply just for fun, it makes it even more difficult, particularly due to those incentives that have been maybe not even promised by teams, but it's been promised by the industry in itself, like getting those incentives, getting those rewards. I want to, like, if I'm giving you my time, you need to give me something in return.
Yeah. And then imagine saying that to Call of Duty. pay me to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, dude. Lol. I know. But yeah, I think it's almost been an hour since we've been live. Mate, I love this combo. Thank you for tuning
Hell
in
yeah.
with us today. I know that you're gonna be busy with a bunch of calls. Keep
Oh,
cooking.
yeah.
Guys, honestly, play the games. They're a lot of fun. And Cole, thanks again for dropping once again another really cool. You should leave your what is it, like the Purgy penguin, or how are they calling them? Purgy.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Jesus Christ.
It looks sick. Actually, Cole is like him 100%. I love Cole.
No, that's you.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
Hell yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
anyways, guys, thanks as well for you guys for tuning in today. You could have been somewhere else. You chose to be with us today. So thank you for that. And we'll definitely catch you on the next one. Play a game, get those NFTs, get part of the Plooshies ecosystem. It's really an easy way for you to be part of the Plooshies ecosystem. There's heaps more coming from our side, heaps more coming from their side. And we're just happy to strengthen our relationship and friendship with them, with you as well, for the night. So thanks, mate.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys. And
Thank you.
we'll see you soon.
Chat later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Bye.
mate. See ya. Bye.